Okay, it's been a while since we did an update on the Hydroswift. The weather's been kind of not playing, so just a little update, I guess. So this now is at a finals, not a final sanding, but this last sanding is a 320 grit all the way, the top and bottom. So I did finished it all the 320 a couple of days ago. Washed it really good, and decided to start working on the dash area. The reason I'm working on this area first is I want to get paint on it so I can get the windshield on and get it fitted. So we're going to be putting an all glass windshield on for this gentleman, and we have one. We didn't pay anything for it, so I'm going to pass it on to him. But it's a beautiful windshield. I'm be glad to put it on. So I want to get it on. So this all has to be finished and painted. I've had to go in with some touch-up putty. I was pretty happy with this surface, but I thought, well, I've got a little more time. I'm going to go ahead and spend some more time. So it's just very time consuming. You can spend a lot, hundreds of hours on this. But I did go by and I decided to fill in some of these really small pits. They're just kind of indicative to a fiberglass boat anyway. You can spend, thousands of hours on these to make these right. But they weren't right when they were new. But we do want to have a nice surface because the paint quality is a lot better than it was 60 years ago. And if you have a pretty good smooth surface, these enamels are just absolutely gorgeous. So just spend a little bit more time on it. Little details. We're really proud of this boat so far. So right now, so I got that hole cut out a little bit bigger because we're going to be putting the GPS. So it's going to be using a GPS manometer. It won't be actually touching the water or have a water input or pressure input. All the new boats are using all the GPS manometers. We found a really nice one that's going to look great on this boat. We ordered the switches that are vintage for the lights and the horn. Those are on the way. And let's see what else we got. I had to do some detail work up here. There was a lot of different layers of paint that we had to break down and get into. I did put some epoxy resin over some of the really big holes, sanded them. So this stuff is just some really light touch-up putty, automotive based. If you don't use the hardener, there's like zero shrinkage. So you can use it without the hardener, and this is what it looks like. So about a week ago we put this down, and you can see there's no shrinkage here whatsoever. I wanted to kind of fill a little bit of a low spot. There was some small little pits you can see. You can see that through the paint, so I just hit this all again with the sander, and decided just to spend another 4 or 5 hours, 4 or 5, 6 hours on this because I had time. I'm waiting for a good sunshine week, but now that we're going to be spraying this top, but we're going to be rolling the bottom, and then we're going to be spraying the whoosh. The whoosh is going to be this color, and everything else is going to be white. So we found a really super high quality bottom paint, and we're going to try that out. I think that's going to work perfect. So that solves this temperature problem we have as far as getting paint down. Anyway, that's an update. Not much happening. The next thing that's going to be happening is I need to grind out. There's a lot of imperfections right in here in the fiberglass. Let me put a lot of paint down on top of this. It looks like the original paint was this blue. I didn't go any deeper. If you see where we feathered it, see if I can find a good feathering. It looks like it was white gel coat underneath it, or the white over, and then they painted blue original. Then somebody came in with another color that wasn't right, but that was not an enamel, so I had to get past all that. once we committed to a color change or any improvement with the paint correction, because there wasn't going to be any paint correction without really putting new color on. So it was almost easier to do the paint correction by just doing a color change. And so that's what we're doing. This is going to be this color, of course, the top. And we just painted this just to kind of get an idea what this looks like. This is done back here, so this is some pretty nice durable stuff. But this is all top paint. This side bottom paint, we're going to do something a little different. It's going to be a roll-on paint, but it's going to be nice. And I have a plan for this that's different. Way over there in the back, you can see a turquoise colored, there's 2 bench seats back there. I'm going to put that bench back on the back and then the bottom bench on the bottom. That's no, there's not going to be any extra charge for that. I had those. I'm just going to use them. That's going to just change this whole back end of this boat there. So once the dash is done here, once we get this ground out, this all gets sanded, gets wiped down, it's going to get painted. Windshield goes on. Then the wood goes on. Then the steering gets remounted. And that takes care of most of that. The steering will be mounted, the horn buttons, the light button, the GPS speedometer. And that'll take care of that for the moment. And then we're going to come up with where we're going to mount the radio for the nav radio and the Apple CarPlay setup that he wants on there. That'll be something we'll be able to plug and play. You can just take it off the dash and put it somewhere. We're going to have a little box under there to put that stuff, store all that stuff in to be dry. But we're not going to be drilling any more holes in this dash at all. So anything that's going to be installed is going to go under dash. So we're going to come up with a solution for that. And then right over here, I'm going to put the fuse box right over there on that, where that bend, where that turn is right there. And we're just going to run one cable up with a 20 amp fuse in the back, and then we're going to run everything off of that, just shorten it up. I haven't done that in the past. I was mounting the fuse boxes in the back, and I don't know why I was doing that, because then I got to run all those wires when I can just run one wire and everything's shorter. So we've learned a lot of things over the boat jobs. This boat's going to get everything we've learned so far, plus more. But that's an update. I'll give you a quick look. There's not much to look at. The garage is thrashed. I've had to do other projects as well. Just gives you an idea of what this is going to look like. And just an update. You can see there's a lot of work that's been done in that right there. But it's smooth. So it's going to look nice with paint on it. So other things that we've been doing in the meantime is the Mercedes is finally out. It has Oregon tags and insurance on it, so it's on the road. Took it out today for a good drive and did a little shakeout on it, and of course it's got some issues. Nothing big, just needs a purge valve, and it has a draw on the battery. We're not sure where it's at. It might be in the radio. The radio comes on in the middle of the night and then shuts off again. Those who know. It's been around these BMWs or Audis or Mercedes. They know the network problems that they all have. So that was what we did with that car. We got it on the road. That took a couple days. The Chevy, the Chevy pickup, we put new tail lights in it, put a new radio in it, fixed the fuel gauge. We soldered in a new stepper motor for the fuel gauge. I didn't do a video on that. I probably should have, but now everybody's done one. You can find it out there. I really can't do any more justice on it, but all the gauges are working now, and the water leak is gone. The tail lights are working, so that thing is kind of straightened itself out. And as you guys remember, the crashed C20. Not much going to happen with this. I am going to go get the wheel cover for that and get that fixed and back on. The camper still needs to be kind of straightened and moved forward, but I'm probably not going to do anything with this until maybe at least spring or summer. We are going to get the door and everything for it, but I'm probably not going to get too far with that this winter. And anyway, a little update on projects and Hydroswift. Stay tuned, or we're going to be after it pretty hard this weekend.